Recording in progress.
All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to try and beat Abrami today.
Beat Abrami?
Yeah, it's like the goal.
Yes.
Yes.
I need more commercialized machine.
All right. Good morning. So today's Daf Lamed Hey in Maseches Gittin. So we got to the second line, first word, second line. So Nimnu Lashvia. So we mentioned that we had a Mishnah yesterday, different takanas, and we had a widow. She only collects from Nichsei Yisayim through a shvua, basically a oath that I have not collected any meksuba because the children do not know the affairs between her and her husband, and perhaps she would have collected some meksuba actually didn't, so she had to take a shvua. However, the Beis Din basically stopped and prevented her from making shvuas. My timer, what's the reason? So Mishum the Rav Kahana, if it was that because of Rav Kahana, then some say Rav Yudah, Rav Ma'isa B'Adam Echa B'Shani B'Tzurais. Right. So one time it was during the years of a famine. Shehiv Dinar Zav Eitzel Almana. Some guy he had a gold dinar. Says he gave it to some widow. Hey, can you go ahead and wash this for me? So she went ahead and she hid it basically at the bottom of the her flour canister, right? And then so what happened? She forgot that it was in the canister, and she went ahead and baked some bread for a poor person, and within this loaf was this dinar. No, I guess it wasn't noticed, or the ani did not go back and say anything. So the yamim, days later, dinar. So the guy says, "Okay, I'm ready. Can you just give my coin back?" And she says, "Hachi." So he says, "Avar malan." He told her, "Havili dinar. Give me my dinar." Samalei. Yenes sam hamavis be'echam mibanesh aisa isha inesim midinar echa klum. She said, I don't have it. He goes, what do you mean? I gave it to you. She goes, I didn't use it. She goes, well, I gave it to you. She said, let there be a curse or death, to the one, to one of the children of the lady, if she misused any of your, misused her dinar. She basically cursed herself because in her mind, she did not go ahead and do anything with dinar. Right? She didn't spend it. She didn't do anything. She's like, I didn't do anything. So she made a shvuah. That one of her kids should die if she did anything with it. Now they said, all right, it didn't take too many days until one of her children died. And the Chamim heard the matter, and they realized what happened, that it was given to the Yani, and she was misused. So Amru, right, and this is a punishment, right? That came somebody who basically made a truthful oath, right? And achas kama someone who goes ahead and makes a lies under oath. Mm-hmm. So Gemara first of all wants to question this. So my time of Yansha. First of all, why was she punished? So Gemara answers, she didn't get any benefit. So no, she actually saved a few cents because the dinar, right? She took a scoop of the flour. So I guess the dinar being there, I guess displaced or whatever, took out some space where the potentially would have been flour. So instead of being 1.3 ounces of flour, it was only 1.12 ounces of flour because the coin took up some space, and therefore she did get some sort of hana, and therefore she was punished. I'm sorry? Well, she gave it because I guess it was inside it or whatever it was. So, I guess, but she gave a scoop. And so therefore, she gave out less flour than she was going to. Yeah. What does it mean that it wasn't truthful then? So it was like the truth. Her whole intentions were it was truthful. In her mind, when she made the shvuah, it was truthful. So the Gemara is going back. Now we brought this case. Is this the reason why we don't make the almana make a shvuah? Because perhaps it'll be some sort of this. If that's the case, why dafka a widow? Afilu grusha nami. Right? Even it should be even a divorcee. A woman gets divorced and she wants to go ahead and collect it. Let her go ahead and collect it. The grusha nami. Alama Reb Zera Mishmol Loishana El Almana. About grusha mashbino isa. But a divorcee can go ahead and make a shvuah and go ahead and collect her ksuba. So our answer is Almana Shani No, almana is different. In other words, in her mind, I own it, right? And even though, so I'm going to go ahead and make a shvuah because I've been looking after the assets, right, which ultimately go to them. So you know what? In her mind, she might go ahead and sort of make a false shvuah. So in order to prevent that, that's the specific reason why the almana is mentioned. But a grusha, if she's not owed the ksuba, or if she already collected some of it, then she would not go ahead and say anything.
Amen.
So they both said, that which he said again, a shvuah is only a shvuah which is done in based in a shvuah deraisa, the whole Sefer Torah is one who violates it is very severe. But if it's only chutz lebeistin, only a dirabanan, right? Which is not only there's like a curse, said on one who lies out on such a shvuah outside of bastin, but not actual punishment. Then mashpinosa, then she can go ahead and make that shvuah. Is this so? So Rav will not collect the ksuba at all for an almana. So you see that according to you, should just make a shvuah outside of bastin, but that even Rav wouldn't allow that. So Gemara says kasha. So yeah, indeed that's a kasha, because if you say that really almana could make a shvuah just outside of bastin because not a shvuah deraisa, that would be okay. So we see that's not right because Rav would not go ahead and collect it. And Basura Masni Hachi and Surah this how it was taught. And Benardia Masni Hachi, they had a slightly different version of that which we taught. Amar Rav Yidom Rav Shmuel Loishanu Ela beBezdin. Right, that which she said she does not make the Ein Mashbino Sa isn't Bezdin. About chutz lebeistin, but it's outside of Bezdin, then mashbino. So then she can make the shvuah and collect. And Rav Omar afilu chutz lebeistin nami mashbino. So even outside of Bezdin, Rav would not allow her to go ahead and make a shvuah to collect her ksuva. And Rav Latami, Rav goes to Shitasa, the Rav leimavi ksuva l'ramasa. The Rav did not go ahead and anything for a widow to collect her ksuba. So let her go ahead and make a neder. Right? We saw in our Mishnah. They wouldn't allow them to make a shvuah, but then then they allowed them to make a neder. In other words, she would say, "Let all the peiros of this be answered to me." If I already collected my ksuba, so then they allow her to collect. So why didn't Rav allow the almana to go ahead and make a neder and then go ahead and collect? So Gemara answers, during the years when Rav was alive, then people did not take their nadarim too seriously, and therefore they would be, I guess, suspect of perhaps lying under nether. Fine. How you does the coming to Rav Huna? There was once.
Why is making a nether together with the shvuah better?
Not together with the shvuah. There's no, they wouldn't allow her to make a shvuah. So he said, okay, at least allow her to make a nether. So he said also, and Rav says the Nadarim also weren't trustworthy during his days. How you does the coming to Rav Huna? There was a lady who came before Rav Huna. Samrala. So she would try to go ahead and collect her ksuba. He said, what can I do? Rav would not go ahead and allow the widow to go ahead and collect it because perhaps she collected during the lifetime of her husband. Samila, midihu tama, ella dilma naktina midi miksubasi. Right? Is the only reason because perhaps I perhaps collected some of my ksuba. Right? She made a shvuah right there that my goodness, right? Make a shvuah in Hashem's name that I never collected anything, not a penny. And I'm Rav b'kofetzes, excuse me, not katzefes, right? Kofetzes, not the ice cream place, right? So he says no. So he says no. Rav would agree that if she would say a shvuah without being asked to make a shvuah, that she was the one who initiated the shvuah, then actually we believe that shvuah. So therefore, if we go ahead, okay, tell her to make a shvuah, so she makes a shvuah, so then maybe she'll lie, right? But if she goes ahead and offers to make the shvuah first, then she was able to go ahead and collect. So in this case, they allowed her to collect. And she's trying to go ahead and collect her ksuba. So he said, what can I do for you? Right? Rav would not go ahead and collect the ksuba on behalf of the almana. And also my father, right, did not go ahead and collect the ksuba. Samila, havli mizayne. Okay, you don't already have ksuba, at least start, giving my mizaynis. Samila, mizayni nami leslech. You also do not get mizaynis anymore. Why? Damar Rav Damar Shmuel, hataves ksubasa bebezdin ein la mizaynis. Right, one goes ahead and makes a claim in Beis Din. Right, we've seen this before. Almana goes to Beis Din. I want my ksuba. Basically, she's going ahead and getting ready to go ahead and marry somebody else. Let me get my ksuba and let me get out of here. I'm gonna, marry. So at that point, once she goes ahead and makes a claim for her ksuba, she no longer gets mazonos. So you made a claim for your ksuba, you were denied. But since you made the claim, you also lost your mazonos.
Why was she denied? I don't know.
She was denied because that's halacha. She doesn't go ahead and she no longer gets lamazonos, right? Because she's megaladas that she wants to go ahead and marry somebody else, and therefore she should not go ahead and be sustained from the orphan's estate. So Amarla,
she's still entitled to her ksuba.
She's entitled to it, but she can't collect it because she can't make a shvua and she can't get it in this case. So they said, remember, this is all before the tikkun that Rabbi Gamliel did, but this is all before that, right? After that, they made a takana. Right? May your seat be flipped over, i.e., a curse that you should, become ill because you have basically taken two chumras ruled against me. You don't allow me to collect my ksuba, you don't allow me mazonos. Right, I'm an almana, and therefore basically curse that your chair should be flipped, i.e., you should become sick. So afchula curse, right? So they said, he just got cursed. We don't want curse to become true. Let's at least flip his chair. Let's at least flip. It was this Rav Huna's chair, right? Who was it? I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Rav. Let's flip his chair. Nevertheless, he did not go ahead and escape her curse, and he indeed became sick. She can go ahead and make a nether in basin and go ahead and say these pairs are also to me and collect a ksuba. She go ahead and make a shvua outside of basin. You just go ahead and pronounce this and say this throughout the land in order that people should know that this is the halacha that the woman can make a nether in Beis Din or make a shvua, which is only shvua d'Rabbanan, outside of Beis Din and then go ahead and collect her ksuba. So Gufa, so you mentioned this earlier. We're only talking about almana cannot go ahead and make a shvua to collect. Grusha, but if it was a woman who got divorced, then she can make a shvua and go ahead and collect. Ugrusha da'adra lo, and a grusha can't just make a nether; she has to make a shvua. They said over there is a psak. Poloniasa bas plaini kibila gita minyada da'acha bar hedya. Right, that this certain woman she got her get from Acha bar hedya, the miskari ayamari. Right, that he was sometimes called ayamari. V'nadarta v'asarta leperas should be aylam Allah to kibalta miksubasa. Ella gufkara echad v'sefer tilam echad v'sefer iyo u'mashalas beluy. That so this lady, she went ahead and she made a nether, basically answering all the peiros of the world upon her if she accepted anything from her ksuba. Besides, she got one, I guess her coat, right? Her mink coat, whatever it was, some sort of coat, and a sefer tehillim. It was worth a few bucks, and also sefer Iyov and Mamshalos also she had a sefer Iyov that she took, and also a book of Mamshalos, and those are which were worn out. Vishamnum, and then when they evaluated right what she collected, i.e., her coat and these couple sefer Tillim and the Iyov and the Mamshalim, Vishamnu b'chamisha mana, right? So let's say she was owed 100 mana, so these were estimated at 5 mana. So she already collected 5. I'm still due 95 or whatever it was, and therefore, and then all the pairs in the world are usher to me if I'm due less than that. So she made a nether and she was able to go ahead and collect. Right? And therefore she can go ahead and collect the rest. And Amar Rav Ashi, how get. So what do you see in this case? Let's go back. Right? What was the case of here? She was a grusha. So we see a grusha made a nether. You said a grusha, right, makes a shvua. Over here we see that Grusha can even make a neder because she made a neder and all the pairs of the world should be asur upon me, right? Actually, she was an almana, right? This is actually referring to the estate of her first husband, and she was given a get, and therefore she was called the Gusha because of that, and she wasn't able to go ahead and perform yibum with any of the other brothers, and therefore she was basically no longer had to get out of any of the zika that was between her and the brothers. So therefore, when she was collecting from the estate of the from the brother who died, therefore she was able to go ahead and make this neder because really she wasn't a grusha, she was a alman. And he's skin Rabbi Gamliel Hazakin Sheidah Nederes. So Rabbi Gamliel was misaken that they should go ahead and make a neder to be allowed to go ahead and collect because they were not trustworthy when we didn't for the shulos. And Amar Rav Huna says Rav Huna lo shel ela b'shaloi nises. We're only talking about if she did not get remarried to husband B. About nises. But if she went to husband B, she got married to him, and then she says, "You know what? Let me go ahead and collect my ksuba. All right, we'll go take that money. We'll take a vacation to Hawaii." Then, on these says, "Ein madirin aisa." We do not allow her to go ahead and make this neder. So Ni says, "My time. What's the reason? The Mefer Labal? Because what's going to happen? She's going to say all the parents in the world are usher to me if I never collect them. So say, okay, you made your neder. Here's your $1,000. The husband says, "Oh, she made a neder for all the parents in the world. It affects me. I'm gonna be Mefer her neder, and then we have the $1,000, and now let's go on our vacation." So my time to Mefer. So Baal Kiloi Ni says, "Not me." Understand? So even if she wasn't married yet, before she got married, let her make the neder. She gets married, and then the husband will just revoke her vow. So my answer is, "Ain't about Mefer b'kayim," because we'll hold like the shita that holds that a husband, whatever nadarm she comes into the marriage, that is, he can no longer nullify those. He can only go ahead and nullify vows that were made post of their marriage, their wedding. Okay, maybe we should be concerned that she'll make this neder, she'll collect the money, she'll do it again. And then she'll go ahead to a chacham and have him matir her neder. So that's a neder. You have to go ahead and basically say what exactly the neder was for. She's going to say, "I made the neder. All the fruits in the world are usher to me. If I already collected my ksuba, and then that was the reason why I had the neder, and then I collected my ksuba." So the chachamim, once they hear as to why she made the neder, they will not be matter this neder. And Rav Nachman Amar Afilu Nises, even if she gets married, we allow her to go ahead and make the neder even after post marriage. Nises Vadei Mefer La Bal, right? So the husband's just going to go ahead and revoke it, which is our first issue with this whole scenario. So my answer is no. The madrinan la barab, that she went ahead and made this neder in public, right? There's a special halacha when you say it in front of Rav, in front of 10 people, that this is such a neder cannot go ahead and be revoked. So therefore, if she makes this unrevocable neder, we allow her to go ahead and collect the ksuba, even if she got married again, because she can't go ahead and have it revoked. I may say as a kash, it says Nises. If she got married, go back ksuvasa im nadra. If she got married, she can go ahead and collect her ksuva with a neder. So my lab nadra, right? And hashta. So Gemara says, is not talking about a case where she made a neder now after she got married. So Gemara says, no, the nadra mekar. She made a neder before she got married to her second husband. Votanya nise snaderes v'gavik ksuvasa. So we say that she can go ahead and get married, then make it neder, then collect the ksuba. So my answer is Tanai. So machlekes Tanaim deikal aman damer neder shehuda barabim yesh lo afara v'ikal aman damer ein lo afara. Because it's actually the machlekes Tanaim, right? If you make a neder that was huda barabim, right, that was done in public, then that still has hafara. He can still go ahead and revoke it. So therefore, in such a case, we do not allow that woman to go ahead and get married first, right? Then make a vow in public, because the husband can still go ahead and revoke it. But according to the Shita, it says that something made in public in front of 10 people cannot be revoked. So therefore, if that's the case, even if she gets married, as long as she makes the vow berabim in front of 10, then the husband can't revoke it. Therefore, the neder will stand. And we're not concerned that she'll just make the neder, collect the ksuba a second time, and then her husband will revoke it, because now it's unrevocable. Iboilu. Tzarich lifa, there's a neder. Oh, ain't it tzarich? Do you have to go ahead and specify exactly what were the conditions of the neder or not? So Rav Nachman Amar ain't it tzarich. And Rav Papa Amar Tzarech, Rav Nachman says you don't have to. You can go ahead and says I have a neder. All the fruits of the world are aser upon me. Please go ahead and nullify it, and they can. And the Rav Papa says no. You have to go ahead and say the specifics of the scenario. Rav Nachman Amar in Tzarech, he says you don't have to. Why is that? The Amar that Tzarech, if you say a person makes a neder, has to say all the conditions. So Zibdim, the guy is lay lidibure v'chacham my deshama mayfair. Because perhaps some of the details might be left out, and the Chacham hears it, he's going to go ahead and be matter it. So therefore, that won't work. So therefore, you don't have to say the specifications. And you have to. Why? Mishum milsa di surah, right? Because matters of maybe the reason why it was made was to prevent something which is usher, like collecting ksuva a second time. So therefore, in a scenario like this, where they hear, hey, I went ahead and made a nether in order to collect my ksuva, and now please matter the nether. We'll say we're not going to matter the nether. So therefore, they have to hear the circumstances in this case. So Tanat Hanaise Nashim Ba'avera Pasal Ad Sheidur Hana. If a Kohen goes ahead and let's say he's marries a woman Ba'avera, someone who is not allowed to go ahead and marry, so he is puzzled to do the avodah. But let's say he says, okay, I'll make a nether. I won't get any enough of the pairs in the world, right? Until I divorce this woman. Then we allow him to go ahead and do the avoda. So Anaisi that should be very possible. The Tani Allah, it says over there, Neider, make the nether. The Oyved, you can go ahead and do the base of Mikdash, do the avoda and Yared, and then you leave the base of Mikdash, and then Umagarish, and then go ahead and divorce. Now, in other words, you don't have to divorce her first, make it nether, do it, and then go ahead and divorce her. If you say you don't have to go ahead and say specifications of as to what the circumstances were as to why you made the nether, so why don't we be concerned? He's going to go ahead, do the avoda, right? Then he's done. He's going to go ahead and be matir his nether, all right, and allow it. Pairs in the world are now permitted him, and he can, and then he'll remain, married to this woman. He just wanted to do the avodah in the base of Mikdash. So Gemara answers. We're just going to go down to a couple lines, I guess, to the two dots. The Madrina le Barabim. Over here, we're talking about where the nether was done Barabim. So on the page, so yes, if it was done in public and there's 10 people, therefore such a nether can't be matter, and therefore in this case he has to go ahead and divorce his wife after the avodah because he can't permit the fruits. There's even an opinion who holds that even something that was done in front of 10 people can't be nullified. Michael, maybe what do you say then? The Madrina lay al das rab. Right, there's another level. Another level is das rab. A person makes a nether on the das, right, with the knowledge of the rabbim, and I was basically saying, I'm going to make this nether al das rabbim, that you guys are in charge of this nether. The rabbim is, and therefore I'm not subject to go ahead and get it revoked because this is really done al das rabbim. It's not done al das atzmo, and therefore such a nether cannot be revoked, and therefore that was the situation of this Kohen. It can't be revoked, and therefore he's going to be basically forced to go ahead and divorce his wife. Even according to the opinion was that nether was made in public, you can in front of 10 people, you can go ahead and revoke it. Al das rabbin, but however, if it was done al das rabbin, right, using their mindset, they're in charge of it, that ain't law afar. Hani milu davar rishus is only talking about davar rishus. Aval davar mitzvah, a davar mitzvah that was done al das rabbin. Yesh lo hafara. There is hafara in such a case. What's an example? Kiho makri dardiki. All right, there was a certain teacher, I won't say daf yomi teacher, but let's say a daf yomi teacher, right, or a school teacher. The Aji Rav Acha al das Rab, and so Rav Acha made a nether. You are us for everything in the world, right? If you teach again, okay? Why? The Havi Pasha Binuke. He was a little too strict on the kids. He used to, smack them around. However, even though that was done al das Rabim, they matir such a nether because there was no such rebbe as that person. So therefore, even though he beat the kids and he abused them, right? Nevertheless, he was the best teacher. So they revoked such a vow, even though it was done al das Rabim. Nevertheless, that was revoked because it was ladovar mitzvah, and therefore, even if your rebbe is abusive, nevertheless, if he's good, then keep. All right, Shkaf. Yeah, I don't know about that. All right, Shkaf, we'll stop here. Everyone have a